Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of August 20th. And before I get started on the week, I just wanted to say that all of the people out there, all of the listeners, all the astrology lovers, all the community members here in the Galactic community, I see you out there replaying this show. I have just been seeing the replay list get longer and longer and longer and longer each week. It is so much fun. I love people coming here live, here Tuesdays, if people can do that. And then when you're not able to do that, you're catching up with the show somehow. You're catching up with the astrology here one way or another. And I just wanted to give a shout out to some of these places where I have listeners from: Morro Bay, California; Portland, Oregon; Kansas City, Missouri; Kansas City, Kansas; LA, California; Seattle, Washington, amongst others. So thank you so much for creating this community in such an organic way. When I first started doing this show here on KPOV Community Radio Station, it was all about providing the astrology and the energetics here to the community, and it's reaching where it needs to go. So thank you for sharing with your friends and family and total strangers if you need to. Okay, so also I'm going to be gone next week, and I wanted to maybe just throw it out there, see what kind of reaction I get, what I should play next week, the week I'm gone. I normally don't prepare a show, but I had this idea about playing the interview with Eileen from it was about 5-6 months ago now, from the last pledge drive. And the reason I was thinking about replaying that is because we have the next eclipse season coming up. And we did that during the last eclipse cycle. And since they kind of connect in with each other, I was thinking that would be a good replay, or maybe just replaying the August astrology show from a couple weeks ago. So give me some type of response. Let me know if you want to hear that Eileen interview again, or if you want to hear the actual August astrology program from a couple weeks ago. Thank you very much. So yes, this week we have, we're just still full mooning it over here. Big and intense super moon in Aquarius that was just yesterday. I am bringing this report on August 20th, and on August 19th, we had the sun in a conjunction with Mercury, and that was actually a combustion. When the planets come together and one of them is retrograde, you get a combustion. So Mercury is in retrograde, has shifted back from Virgo into Leo. So we have reached the second half of the Mercury retrograde here. We are returning to older themes here on this full moon in Aquarius that begs us to find our individuality and our independence and freedom, and is just trying to awaken us. This is an energy of awakenings and change and surprises, and there was a lot of tough energy, and we're still feeling it. T-squares, oppositions, the Jupiter-Mars conjunction, just really, really kind of throwing things out of order a bit, scattering things a bit. And so very expressive, a full moon. And one of the things that I hadn't gotten to chat about last week about this full moon, just to bring in another element of it here for you, is the Jupiter square Saturn. Jupiter is squaring Saturn still currently in a very, very tight aspect, but this was actually perfected on August 19th, the day of the full moon. Saturn at 1727 of Pisces, Jupiter at 1727 of Gemini in a square. This is important because Saturn and Jupiter are always in a dance together, and we're always paying attention to the cycles that these two planets are going through. And in this case, we have them coming into their first square. Now, if you can look at it as a 4-part cycle, when two planets come together, then they have their first square, then they have their opposition, then they have their final square, then they come back together again to restart that cycle. So Jupiter and Saturn actually started this current cycle back in January of 2020. This was a dynamic moment. This also included the planet of Pluto. They all came together in the final degrees of Capricorn. And this was a triple planetary conjunction that was just groundbreaking. It was unprecedented. It was a moment that astrologers were talking about for years going into it, and we're still talking about it years coming out of it because there was something amazing and dynamic and extreme that happened January of 2020, and that was COVID-19. And so we had this intense conjunction, this really potent moment in January 2020, and now we are coming into the first square between Jupiter and Saturn. And they're going to be in this dance for a little while because neither of the planets move very quickly compared to like the moon and the sun, which move pretty quickly throughout the month. But we're going to be sitting with this square for a while, and there's going to be moments of retrospect back to 2020, back to things that changed and happened because this was a potent moment in our lives. Everybody had some type of big dynamic change here. So, not to throw us back too far into the past, we have a couple of energies that are just sparking this up a little bit more. We have Mercury in retrograde, the sun in a combustion there, still taking place. We're still feeling this. So we're kind of looking at past events. We're looking backward a little bit here. We're even dealing with themes that we thought were over since 2020 or around that time. For you, it's going to be, for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. And I would be surprised if there's one person that actually made it out of this clean, scotch clean. Is that the phrase? Because it was just so intense and it affected everyone and everybody's charts in a heightened way. So Uranus, another big energy this week because it rules this Aquarius supermoon. And when you get these big energies in, those planets that rule, they create more of a flow. And Uranus is a groundbreaking type of energy. So we have thoughts of the past. We have cycles coming back from 4 years ago. We have big conjunctions of communicator planets and brilliant luminaries, the sun and Mercury. So it's kind of a mixed bag right now, but whatever is going on is super potent and it's part of a larger cycle. Are you feeling me here? So as you are digging into what this Aquarius supermoon is all about for you, what this Jupiter Saturn cycle is about for you, starting in 2020, this is a pretty dynamic week. I feel like I've been using that word a lot, but must be so. This is a week where the winds of change are coming in. We are later in the week going to be going through more changes, season changes. We're going to be needing to make adjustments, yet there's going to be an energy that sits still and sits with things and is in this Mercury retrograde and is contemplating and trying to pull all the pieces together of all the themes right now with Uranus, like scattering it all over the place. So hang in there because there's good stuff. The sun moving into Virgo this week is going to be really our first big adjustment. 444 across all my clocks here. This is Stacy Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community. As we deal with the winds of change, Virgo energy, being an earth energy, is going to be super helpful. This is a mutable energy. This is where mutable means that we are going to be dealing with changes better. We're going to be moving and flexible and adjusting a little bit easier and a little bit better. And earth energy, we get to put our feet on the ground and we build structures from the ground up when we are in earth signs. So the sun moves into Virgo on August 22nd this year, but not right before the sun has an inconjunct with the planet of Neptune. Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces, if you remember, 29 degrees and retrograding. This is the last little spin for Neptune here at the end of Pisces, and we're going to see big major change in terms of Uranus themes coming 2025 and 26. We have this planet finishing up here, not just in this sign, but because Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac, finishing up with this greater, grander cycle that Neptune has gone through. And Neptune represents our hopes and our dreams and our connection with spirit and our intuition. And there is so much to Neptune that is all about the mysterious, mystical things that we just don't and can't understand, the collective unconscious, those themes that are kind of metaphysical that just don't really make any sense. There's no proof for any of that. Those are all the things that Neptune rules. So when Neptune is at this critical degree, 29 degrees, it can throw this kink in almost like, hey, wait a second. What is my hope and my dream here? What is this? But also, I see something coming in the future here, and I'm stuck in this hope and this dream that I'm actually needing to release because I am here at the final degrees of Pisces, and that is what these final degrees of Pisces are asking me to do, to release. So it's like over the next year or two, we are going to be doing things that we're never going to be doing ever again. So a lot of backwards movement right now, a lot of interesting energies when the sun comes into an inconjunct with Neptune. We just have to sit with it. An inconjunct is 5 signs apart. It's like a blind spot in our sight. There's not any action that we can take on it. It's not active like a square or an opposition where you want to take action, or a trine. An inconjunct is you do nothing. It's very strange. And then the sun moves into Virgo on the 22nd and comes into another inconjunct with Pluto. Pluto's at 0 degrees of Aquarius right now, looking to head back into Capricorn for its final dip into Capricorn theme. So there's a lot of things finishing up here. We're like, it's like it's like that very last dip in the waters before you leave away from vacation. But this is like a vacation that you're never going to have the opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime vacation dip in these waters. Okay. So that's important. That's important to have these moments. And we all get tired towards the end of our trips or the end of arguments or the end of anything. You get tired of it, but there's like this final moment that needs to happen that provides closure for that. So we're working on that and we're getting tuned into that this week as the sun moves through these 2 inconjuncts with Neptune and Pluto. And it's all about the past and it's all about old things because Mercury retrograde is there. And Mercury retrograde rules Virgo season anyways. We are entering Virgo season, Mercury being the planetary ruler of Virgo, in a retrograded motion. So I hope you made your to-do lists already because, Venus has been in Virgo for a while already. She's been there. She's been moving through it, making her lists, doing her service work, detoxing, cleaning up, because she knew that there was going to be some slow movers coming in soon. So, there's some preparations that need to happen with Virgo season. It's the change of season. And here in Bend, Oregon, anyways, our weather is starting to shift. We're starting to feel the fall season here in the Northern Hemisphere already. And so, there's a practical nature that comes in. Okay. So what am I going to do for winter? Have I planned everything just right? I need to bring in the crops. I need to fix the garage. I need to, make this, churn up the soil in this bed. There is a practical preparation that happens. And because Mercury, the ruling planet of Virgo, is retrograded right now, it could include even having to kind of go back and take care of some things before we can even move forward with the projects that we want moving into the next season here. But no matter what, we're going to be grounded. We're going to build from the ground up. There's a security to Virgo that we want, that earthy security. We want to be able to know that we can put our feet on the ground and it's going to be solid there for us. There's another inconjunct between Venus and Chiron is actually making some aspects later in the weekend here, the 23rd and the 24th. We have a few different Chiron aspects. Actually, all of the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, are making some type of aspect to Chiron. So there's a healing opportunity here. There's something here that is wanting us to heal ourselves. Virgo is the sign of the healer. And Mercury retrograde is all about internal work. We are healing our internal personal spaces. Mercury is the mind, Venus is the heart, Mars is the body. Every single one of those is going to get a touch from the wounded healer this weekend. And this can be, I have a feeling that there could be some aggravations to old injuries or old traumas or things that we are going through as far as therapies. We have backward steps in our therapies, or what feels like backward steps. But of course, we always take one step back to take 2 steps forward, or however it goes for you, because I know it's a little bit different for everyone. But nonetheless, there is healing energy around this weekend for us. If we can grab onto it, there's an opportunity for us to slow down, which is hard because the end of the summer and this 29 degrees, this Pluto and this Neptune trying to close things up, it's hard to sit still when we know that there's projects that need to be done. But we need to move quickly and then rest, and move quickly and then rest, because when Virgo energy takes over, like it is going to when the sun moves there, and then Mercury will move through retrograde and will come back into Virgo also, and we'll be moving through Virgo themes even more later on, that we keep our eyes on the prize here. And so one other thing that I have been thinking about with Virgo. So I've been trying really hard. There's just some of these different energies that I've had an easier time connecting with. It's been smoother, understanding certain signs and their energies. And then, other signs, it's like, I don't know, it's just a little tougher to get a grasp of what it's all about, like what it's all about for me, but just what it is all about. And Virgo has been one that has been challenging for me to get a hold of. I mean, I have a Sagittarius stellium and Virgo's in a square to me. So whatever that's all about, I've just like had a blind moment to it. But I think this Mercury retrograde has given me a really nice intuitive blast about Virgo. And it came through a gal that I listened to called, her name is Tanaz, and her YouTube channel is Forever Conscious, and her website is foreverconscious.com, and her name's Tanaz, and she was talking about Virgo and about the virgin and the virginal energy that comes along with this. And we have been so sort of tunnel visioned about Virgo and virgin and what this means just in culture. We are like obsessed with the virgin bride, someone who's never, had that sexual experience before, and they are a virgin, and that makes them totally clean and perfect, right? So that is the modern understanding of the term virgin. And Tanaz brought in this whole other beautiful understanding of Virgo and virgin for me. And before we sort of adopted this whole new theme, the idea around a virgin was it is one who is complete in their self. That is mind-blowing to me. That brings it all around to me, and that is why I've been repeating detox, 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 because there is something about Virgo that is healing, and we can heal ourselves. And with servitude, we have to be careful that we don't give too much to others and not enough to ourselves. We can get lost in servitude itself, that I need to help others. I need to help others. I am one of those people. I love to give. I am a giver. I love to host. I love to have people around and serve them and see them smile and give them yummy cookies and watch them enjoy them and whatever. But how much service does everybody need? How much service is too much service? And how much service helps? How much service is actually hurting? So we want to make sure that we aren't serving others beyond our capacity, what we have to give, and that we also aren't serving others so that they have the opportunity to step up for themselves. We need to have moderation in this servitude between parents and children, between doctors and patients, between in any relationship, really, where it's a give and take, which should be any relationship. So we want to make sure we don't lean on crutches too long or give people crutches to lean on for too long so that their musculature gets weak and you know what happens then. So very, very interesting themes coming in for me. And I'm excited because we still have the whole month of Virgo season ahead with us. I'm so excited to put my feet on the ground and to start building from the ground up again and slow things down a little bit here. Allow for change to just come in this week. It's going to happen. Aquarius supermoon is just things are going to get shaken up. The earth is going to be shaken. The things might not look the same as they did a week from now because we are in such a time of awakening and change. So stay open to it, stay in it. If things seem scattered or unsettled or a little unstable, just hang in there for the weekend because healing energy is coming in and the sun moving into Virgo for grounding. So I think it's going to be a beautiful week, and I hope that you all enjoy it. And don't forget to get back to me about what type of replay you might want for next week. Just make a comment on the video or get a hold of me, the Cosmic Community at kpov.org. And I thank you so much for being here and being tuned in. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.